Hi, this is Kevin with the free daily Forex video for June 1st, 2010. You're currently looking at the USD Japanese yen pair. You'll notice this pair is actually a very sideways moving pair right now. Even as I zoom out on the daily chart, you can see that for quite some time, ever since sometime of last year, we've gone up and down, but it's always in the sideways range. So this current pair is sideways, short-term bias is sideways, and long-term bias is sideways. In the next session, look for the pair to go as high as 91.83 and as low as 90.02. And look for some support around 90.43 and some resistance around 91.15. Alright, switching to the Euro USD chart, you'll notice that this pair is actually quite a big downtrend right now, so we're actually looking for this pair to pretty much continue what it's been doing. So we've got a short-term short bias and a long-term short bias as well. In the next session, look for this pair to go to 1.20, or look for this pair to go as high as 1.2420 and as low as 1.2036. Also look for some support around 1.2110 and some resistance around 1.2324. Alright, switching to the pound US dollar chart. This pair has actually, been fairly close to what the euro has been doing, but now we're in somewhat of a pullback, kind of like before, how we dropped, had some pullback and sideways time, dropped again, and I believe we're heading into that same sort of situation. So we kind of want to be leery of this pair, but at the same time, even still, the short-term and long-term bias are both to the downside, or both sell. So in this next session, look for the pair to go as high as 1.4840 and look for the pair to go as low as 1.4454. Look for some support around 1.4481 and resistance around 1.4727. Okay, switching now to the USD Swiss pair, you'll see that we have pretty sideways movement for the last few sessions, about a week and a half or so. Fairly sideways movement, but the overall bias for this is upwards because you see that we're on this really long upwards moving trend here. So we may be topping out actually, because this is the first time we've had this since the uptrend started. This is the first time that we had this many candles that can fit in this type of range. So we may be actually topping out right now. So we'll keep a close eye on this pair, but for the time being, it's very sideways. So in the next session, look for this pair to go as high as 1.1711 and as low as 1.1427, with some support around 1.1486 and resistance around 1.1691. Okay, as far as news announcements for this next session, we actually have the yen capital spending report. It's a pretty decent market mover for the yen actually, and the expected is actually quite a bit different than the previous. Our previous number was negative 18.5%, and the expected news release for this is actually at a negative 2.7%. And this news announcement is going to be coming out at 7:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because it's a Japanese news announcement, so it's going to come within the Japanese session later in the day. So we'll look for that to happen and actually see if the number is way off of the expected number, which is negative 2.7%. It should move the market, in a pretty decent fashion. Okay, let's look at this rather interesting setup that we've got on the U.S. Japanese yen pair right now. This blue line denotes, with the three dots on it, denotes an actual swing trade setup. You'll notice that we have a higher high or a higher low, and then we have a higher high, and then we have a lower low. Basically, the market is going in an arc fashion. So normally how we trade this, what we look to do is actually whenever the market closes below or breaks below this trend line that we've drawn out, then we'll be looking to go short. So we have a nice little window of opportunity actually because of that. If we were to, within this next session, go down and break past this line here, which the price is around 90.5 right now, if we were to break through that price, there's a very good chance that we would continue down to this very, very strong level of support right here. It pretty much exactly hit in 4 places on 4 different daily candles. So the distance that you could actually get in profit on this, you could pull a good 50, 60 pips out of the market doing this, but I'd be more apt to actually have it go down to actually turn this previous line of resistance into support. So I would only end up taking 15, maybe 20 pips out of this trade. So it's pretty nice little setup. And also something to remember is this last low right here touched the previous level of resistance, which has now become support. And that's a very, very common and normal formation for a breakout to have, essentially, is whenever you break through and then one of the first few candles outside of the trend line actually goes down and touches the previous line of support, then I don't want to say more often than not, but I've seen a lot of the time it actually ends up taking off. And considering we're about an hour or so into this new session, we've already got a pretty decent size up candle. Either way is good. So I'd be looking to go long probably between these 2 highs right here and the highest high here. So it's about 15 pips. So after about 15 pips, I'd move to break even and look for it to continue to run. So look for either one of those 2 trades to happen within the next couple sessions, I'm sure, if they're going to. Well, that about does it for today. So until next time, this is Kevin. Good trading.